Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the 6th round of the Formula SimRacing 2014 A Series. We are here live from sunny Silverstone for the A Series then, and Q1 is already on the way, just 7 minutes to go here. A couple of people are rounding up their laps right now, and I am joined today by James Sadler. Welcome, James.
Hello everyone, and we are here at Silverstone. It's a fantastic track. The track was made by ISI, it's a brilliant job, and I'm really looking forward to this race as Jeroen comes to finish his lap. Coming around the final few corners, gets the power down nicely. What time will this be for Jeroen? 1:31.2, that's a great lap from Jeroen.
Yeah, good lap from him. That's around the benchmark. We have seen in the practice that the fastest lap was indeed a 1:31.2, so that's around the benchmark as we go on board with Conti now, who goes through Stowe Corner. Coming up to the final couple of corners, these are really tricky. You need a good traction out of this corner here, and then get on the power as early as you can, and then cross the line. Conti does so with a time of a 1:31.3, puts him up behind Thoman, about 2/10 off. It seems like Precision Motorsports has the edge over Twister, slightly at least. That's what I have noticed in the last couple of minutes. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think exactly that. But the Twister has got a really good downforce package on their car, because they were faster in Sector 3 than what Jeroen was. So it was clear that Twister are running more of a higher downforce setup here than Precision.
So we're just under 6 minutes to go, and obviously the top 10 will go in advance to Q2. So we're looking around that 10th spot. Unfortunately, there are only 15 people driving here, which isn't too much, but I guess it should be a good race here. This track can offer such great racing, really. You can take a lot of different lines when you're battling with someone else without it compromising you too much. So I presume we will be looking forward to the race with lots of battles.
Yeah, I think indeed we will. With 2 DRS zones, it should really help the drivers to get lots of overtaking round Silverstone, and it's got to make this be a good race. We've got the feature race, which is 31 laps, which is the same number of laps as the Pro Series, so which is tomorrow at 2:30 GMT time for all you people that are interested in FSR and want to watch the live broadcast. And then we've also got the World Championship at 5:30 GMT, hoping to be a fantastic race.
So I think Jeroen has started a new lap, so currently still in first position. But we are looking at the 10th spot. Currently Danny Van Niet is in 10th position with a 1:32.3, about 1.1 seconds off Jeroen's time. And in front of him it's Saliento, and then in 11th is it's Eslamagen, but the times are pretty close. It's a little bit of a gap between the first two, so Thoman and Conti, and then the rest of the field really. But it could be pretty close, maybe for around that 10th position, although Eslamagen is another second off Van der Niet.
Yeah, so we could expect a huge gap during the race. So Jeroen could pull away with the lead, and he could have an over 20-second gap at the end. But towards 5th, there's only 1/10 that separates 8 drivers, I believe, it just shows how tightly packed it is in this midfield of this ace race.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why we will see a very good race here today. So Jeroen then rounding up his lap, coming through the final sector. Let's see what he can do this time. 1:41.2 to beat, and he does a 1:31.1. So once again he beats it by about a 10th, a little bit less than a 10th. So awesome job from Jeroen, who again improves his lap time.
Yeah, indeed he does, and it's just showing how much of a great driver Jeroen is doing for Precision Motorsports.
And we have Johnny Seaman now, who is in 4th position. He can do another run. He's exiting the pits right now, actually. Looking again at the 10th spot, Danny Van der Niet has been pushed off, and I saw Saliento making a spin. Saliento spun off the track as he is back in pits. He should be able to do another run, but that does look like the pressure is on him at the moment, as As then even the Need jumped to 7th place at the moment, so he is out of the danger zone as well. But all those drivers are now improving again, and they are bumping each other out of that top 10 really, as we have Saliento now in 10th position. A little bit more than a 10th of Alex Diaz, so it's gonna be close here with just 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, indeed it will be.
By the way, look at Conti though. Conti has done a 131.0, so awesome job by him, a 10th quicker than Jerry Toman. And just at the moment we thought that Precision Motorsport had the edge. Marco Conti rather put in an awesome lap time and gets the lead.
Yeah, Twister, like I said, Twister have got a really good downforce package, so that will help them in Sector 2 and towards the end of Sector 3. So it's more of a downforce track rather than speed, although it really does depend on what, whether you're going to focus more on the race or you're going to focus more on qualifying. But in my opinion, I think it would be best to focus on the race, mainly because there's plenty of space, there's plenty of overtaking opportunities, as well with two DRS zones. So I think it could be a great race, and judging by how close the field is in the midfield, it has got the makings to be a good race.
Meanwhile, Norbert Liebner and then even Nick have completed their laps. They cannot run again, and I saw Marek Godek, who was in 11th place, going out on track again. But with just a minute to go, I'm not sure whether he's going to make the line in time to do another run. But let's have a look at Alex Diaz then. He is in 10th position as he has a 132.0. Let's see if he can improve actually, as we just have 40 seconds left. So if you want to start a lap, you're going to have to cross the line in a very short time.
Yeah, Alex Diaz he's just showing how much of a high downforce package he has got, because he's only hitting 340 kilometers per hour, so just showing how much downforce he's got on that positive SimRacing car.
Yeah, that's a lot of downforce.
He's done a 132.4, so he's still in the top 10, but whether anyone else can knock him out, we'll have to find out.
Indeed. I'm gonna have a look at Marek Godek. No, he's not gonna make the line, I think. 10 seconds to go. He's too late. I think he's on an out lap as well, so I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he is.
Let's look at Saliento then.
Yeah, he's a 10th down, but still can make it up through the middle sector, whether he can pip Alex Diaz and get into Q2. So as he gets nice traction, he's heading down to the big right-hander. He should be flat out here with 7th gear.
Here we go.
Bit of a lift, and it's still very nice from the Netrix car.
What do you think of these corners here? What do you think about them? Because I think they are so cool.
Yeah, indeed they are. They're a fantastic part of the circuit, and it just makes it, when you look at the cars going through it, it just looks so good. And even in F1 and in FSR, they just look so good going through there, showing the mechanical grip of the cars. So as Saliento comes to finish his lap, he's still a 10th down on his personal best. Well, he can make it up in this final sector as he comes across the line. He actually improves, but he's still only 12th, which is unfortunate for the Netrix car.
Slamagen is still doing a lap, I think.
Yeah, and he's a 10th up.
That's probably not enough. He's a 2nd down on Saliento, I think.
Yeah, and he's coming across the line. We don't think it will be good enough, but a 133, which isn't a bad lap from the Muscaturu driver.
Yeah, indeed, so that must be it then for Q1. We have lost Marek Godek. We still want to do another lap. Maybe he was able to improve, but it doesn't matter because he didn't reach the line quick enough to do another lap. Saliento in 12th as Lamagen 13th, Valeriano 14th, and Marconi 15th. So the top 10 is going to drive in Q2 now. You only have one lap here, so you need to get it right. The pressure is on for the drivers, and the setup you're going to use now in this qualifying too. You need to use that setup as well in the race. Same for the tires.
Yeah, indeed you do. Well, you can either opt for more of a race strategy where you start on the prime tyre, which is the harder tyre here at Silverstone, but then you could also go on the option tyre, which is faster, roughly about a second quicker than the option tyre here at Silverstone. But tyre degradation is quite hard here, so it's going to really come down to strategy, whether you can make it into the top 10 or you won't make it into the top 10, and you'll only get 10 points if you don't reach the top 10 in the race.
So it seems like there are already 3 people out on track. One of them is Danny van der Niet. Norman Liedner is out on track as well. Same for Johnny Seaman, who now joins the track, but it seems like Danny van der Niet is going to start his lap first, the Crown 7 Networks car. And actually, I don't think we have any penalties for this race, so that's good. We should see all 15 drivers starting from the grid, unless they want to start from the pits there.
Yeah, indeed we do. No pits here, like you just said, but Johnny Simon did a fantastic effort in the World Championship. Got a top 10 finish, did really well for Positive Racing. I'm sure he'll be delighted on that, and he'll want to capitalise on his form at the moment and try and do well in the A Series.
Everyone's currently on the medium tyre, I think. I cannot spot anyone on the harder compound.
No, I can't either.
So Danny van der Niet then, I hope he has his tyres ready, warmed up, and then he should be good to go and take us through a lap of the beautiful Silverstone circuit. So there we go, Danny van der Niet. As he crosses the line right now to start his lap, coming up to the first corner, which is Abbey, which is obviously, this is all new from what was, I think, 2009 onwards with the new layout, or 2010, I cannot remember exactly. Now he enters the village corner. Next up is the loop, which is a very tricky corner. You really need to get this right, especially the exit. A good traction is required here, as he's going to open up the DRS, coming up to corner 5th. And now this is the first DRS zone off the track. As he goes down Wellington Straight up to the next corner, Brooklands. Seems pretty stable so far, down to 3rd gear, and now into Lovefield. He stays in 3rd gear, some people go to 2nd there, so that's a little bit different. Gets on the throttle nice and early, little bit of oversteer, that just shows that he's really greedy and he's really keen to get on the throttle. Next up is Cobb's Corner, incredible corner, corner 9 here, he's flat out. Good job by him, that was a pretty sweet corner. Next up then, Maggots, Beckett and Chapel. And look at that, look at the direction change, it's a lot of speed there. As he goes wide, Danny van der Niet is off the track and he keeps going, he definitely does. Down Hanger Straight now, his DRS is still open, but that definitely is going to compromise him heavily. And he stops, Danny van der Niet stops. Yeah, we spotted a mistake there, understeer in Chapel, and that's the run done for him.
I think Danny just got on the power too soon, and because he compromised his turn into Beckett's, I believe, and he just got onto the curb too much, and that compromised his turn into turn 13, so that's probably why he understeered off the track.
Norbert Liedner is the first one to pass the line, and he does so with a 35.9, so something must have gone wrong for him then as well. And Saverly is now starting his lap 2, I believe. Saverly is on a lap, and Johnny Seaman 131.7. Yeah, and Conti now. What is Conti going to do? As he goes down Hanger Straight, DRS is wide open, entering Stowe Corner. Early on the throttle there, using all of the track that's available to him, as Patrick Holzman now goes into first position with a 141.2. Fair play to him, that's a very, very good lap. But what can Conti do though? Conti, here we go. Going to be a 131.1. He gets more at the moment, but what about Jeroen Thoman?
He's actually down in the first sector, and he's in 7th gear, and he's got a lovely car set up there, going full throttle. Now into Maggots and Beckett, and he's took the curb less than what Danny van der Niet did. He's got a very nice exit, and he's opening up his DRS. He's 2/10 down on Marco Conti, so he could put himself 3rd as he now goes into Stowe Corner. He's feathering the throttle, goes a bit on the curb, and he brakes into the final couple of corners. Second gear, gets good traction out of the final corner as he turns. And what will this time be for Jeroen? P3.
Alright, P3 with 131.3. Don't know if he's going to be disappointed with that. What do you think? Will he be disappointed with that lap, or?
I think, well, you've got to look at it like this, because he's on the clean side and Patrick Holzman at the moment is on the dirty side, so he could jump Patrick Holzman, as we have seen during the season, that if you're on the cleaner side of the track, you can jump the person in second place, as Martin Hadas goes P6 with a 132.069, not a bad lap from the other precision driver.
Now it's Alvaro Torres who's going to finish his lap. He just finished the second sector actually, so he's in the first sector. Goes through Stowe Corner, beautiful corner once again. It's really a classic track here, Silverstone. It's an awesome track. I think it's very up on the list of favorite tracks from the drivers. He has a bit of oversteer on the direction change there from left to right. It's the corner. What's he going to do? 151.5 puts him in 4th place. That's a pretty decent lap from him. I think he will be pretty happy with that actually.
Yeah, he was actually up on Marco Conti's time, but he just made a mistake going into the corner, missed the apex, so he couldn't get the line through the final few corners, so he couldn't get the maximum top speed down that straight. But Marco Conti gets pole position, followed by Patrick Holzman, Jeroen, Alvaro Torres, Johnny Simon, Alex Diaz, Martin Herdas, Thomas Sadler, Norbert Lehner and Danny van der Niet.
I think the biggest miss this race will be Patel. Excuse me, the championship leader is not driving here, so that's a big loss. But at the same time, it's going to give Jerry Toman the opportunity to catch up to Mohamed Patel in championship. Toman currently 11 points behind Patel, followed by Conti in third position with 196 points. So it's really Patel and Toman who are basically dominating this championship. They are clear by over 50 points. But then comes Conti.
Yeah, they're both doing a fantastic job for their respective teams. But Jeroen will definitely want to capitalise on Mohamed Patel not being here. So if he jumps Patrick Holzman and stays in second place, he will get some good points ahead of Mohamed Patel. And if he does well in the sprint race, then he will definitely jump Mohamed Patel, and this may hurt Mohamed Patel come the end of the season, but it will really just depend on what the drivers can do throughout the rest of the season. So as we're currently in this warm-up session, we've got 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. The drivers from outside the top 10 have opted for the harder tyre, which is the prime tyre, and they're going for more of a strategy here at Silverstone. Maybe they can jump a couple of people in the top 10 on strategy.
Yeah, I can see Valeriano on the prime tyres, same for Saliento, Godek, Slemanjan and Marconi are both on are all on the medium tyre, however.
Yeah, indeed they are. Jeroen, what do you think is the best thing to get this? What do you think is the best to get out of a good lap at Silverstone?
In what way?
So getting the right setup and top speed and all that.
Well, it's a pretty tricky track with the setup, I think. I mean, you have Hanger Straight, Wellington Straight. You really do want a good top speed there, but obviously DRS will help you there. But sometimes DRS is not available, obviously, in the race. And furthermore, middle sector, you really need a stable car there, especially the front end needs to bite. With understeer, you're not going to make it, or not going to have a quick lap, because sector 2 is really, really important then.
Yeah, indeed it is.
And yeah, I think traction is very important, especially in that first sector and the final sector. Traction is important, so you need like a bit of everything really on this track, I think.
So in other words, it's basically a middle setup, so you don't want to go too far to low downforce, you don't want to go too far to high downforce, and you want to get it just the sweet spot where you're really happy with the car. You can turn in, the car bites to the corner, and it's just a very pleasant car to drive. As we've seen with the Twister cars, they look so good with the drivers. So I think it'd be really interesting with these warm-up times what people can do and what the difference is between the hard and the medium tyre.
It will be interesting. I think, as you have said before, the race is really when you want to focus on. I mean, with the heavy fuel, you get so much more understeer as well. And I think it will be a one-stop here. What do you think? I think two-stop might be. I think one-stop is possible, but two-stop is like an alternative. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do. But I think if you go for a two-stop strategy, I think you'll lose too much time. So it's best to save the tyres and try and do a one-stop and make that medium tyres last for as long as you can. And Jeroen's done a really good time on their medium tyres, as well as Marco Conti. So if you look at that, it's nearly a second to Norbert Leitner. So it just shows how much speed that Marco Conti and Jeroen have got in their cars. And it just could show that how far they could pull away from everyone else.
Yeah, I hope for a very good race here with lots of battling. Maybe we can have, I think it will be like having a couple of groups together, you know, like the top 4 together battling, then a little bit of a gap to the rest of the field, maybe something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Gonna have a look on board with Conti, just having a look if his car is stable with this heavy fuel setting.
Yeah.
I cannot really spot a mistake actually.
No, I can't either. It just shows how stable that car is and how well worked that setup is on that Twister car to even have roughly around 130 litres of fuel and still have really good turn-in. It shows how much work he has put in on that setup. And I think Twister could have a really good race here, as Precision Motorsports as well. So I'm really looking forward to this race and hope you guys at home are as well.
Yeah, and actually talking about Jeroen, he actually spun in Abbey corner, the first corner. So I think that shows that Twister just has such a stable setup. And meanwhile, Precision Motorsports, Jeroen then just spins his car around. So don't know if he's entirely confident with the setup, but Twister definitely seems really strong.
Yeah, well, maybe Twister have focused on the race setup more than what Precision have done, and Precision have opted for more qualifying. But if Jeroen gets a good launch, he can definitely pip Patrick Holzman, who's done a fantastic job for Twister. I believe this is his second race. He raced in Canada, did a good job, but unfortunately he did crash, I believe, on the final corner. But still did a good job for Twister, and let's hope he doesn't have any incidents today and does a good job for the team, gets some good points for his second start in Formula Sim Racing.
Yeah, impressive job by him, really good.
Alvaro Torres is not far behind the Twister and Precision drivers for Crown 7 NetRace. He's only 5/10 off, and he's just got a really good setup through there. He's really stable. He's got a bit more understeer than what the Twister and Precision cars have got, but he's just got a really good setup. It's really balanced, and I think Alvaro Torres could also have a good race. He just keeps out of any trouble. He can do really well here for Crown 7 NetRace.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Maybe he can be someone to capitalize on the mistake up front and then gain a position because of that. You never know. Maybe at the start with Abbey and then entering the arena section, which is quite tight. So don't hope we will see some incidents, but it might be a little bit likely, as Alvaro Torres is actually trying the harder tire right now, getting a feel for that as well. Good to see that Alvaro Torres tries that.
Yeah, Alvaro Torres, indeed he is trying the hard tyre while we've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. But he's definitely got the ability to do well here in Silverstone, as he showed in the Pro Series, which was the World Trophy last year. and he could definitely do well in Multicrown 7 Netrex when Bioacross Positive Racing, but Johnny Simon is doing a very good job for them as well, and he's weaving all around on the track, trying to get heat into his tyres. Or is he just trying to grade the tyres to see what they're like after they've been worn?
I don't know, honestly. I can also see a lot of drivers doing pit stops, just practicing the pit stop, because it's pretty important here, and the pit activation zone, so let's say the pit limiter where you need to activate it, is on a pretty difficult to spot, like if that makes any sense. So I see a lot of drivers just finding a marker where to brake and then activating the pit limiter, because the pit limit line is on a pretty weird spot, really. It's hard to spot it. Yeah,
indeed it is. But the drivers, just with the different fuel loads, braking is so much different, and that's credit to ISI for getting that into R Factor 2, which really differentiates between qualifying and the race with the fuel loads. And Jeroen just done a 134.2. He's done a fantastic lap for Precision Motorsports.
Yeah, that's a really good job by him.
I think he also really does show how what people are focused on, because if you've got a really good race pace, it just shows how much you're focused on in the race. If you focus on qualifying, you may suffer during the race, but people in the people who are focused on the race setup, they could do well here.
I think we're ready to race here.
Yeah,
so we'll have the formation lap first, and then obviously the 5 lights will come on, and once they go out, we are racing. 31 laps around this Silverstone circuit, a beautiful Silverstone circuit, I should say. And I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what Jeroen can do then. Can he put in a couple of good laps here and then stick with the twister cars, or will it be the twister cars who are going to win here easily? I don't think they will win easily. I think Jeroen is going to try everything in order to overtake him, but at the same time I think Jeroen, he knows that Mohamed Patel is not driving here, so he just wants to score some solid points in order to close down that gap in the championship, or even overtake Mohamed Patel.
Yeah, indeed he does, but I think the Twister drivers, which are teammates to Mohamed Patel, may put up a serious fight to Jeroen just to make sure he doesn't capitalise on Mohamed Patel not being here, as all the drivers head to the grid, with Marco Conti in first place, with Patrick Holzman in second, Jeroen in third, Alvaro Torres in fourth, Johnny Simon in fifth, Alex Diaz in sixth, Martin Hodas in seventh, Thomas Sadler in eighth, Norbert Leitner in ninth, and Daniel Anthony rounding out the top 10. Can you finish off the grid for us, Jeroen?
In 11th is Mario Godek from Go Speed Racing Team. Then 12th is Gennaro Saliento in the Crown 7 Netrex car. 13th is Eslama Jen in the Mustakurmu racing car. Then 14th it is Valeriano, and 15th is Marconi in the Faster Than Speed car. So it seems like everyone has got a clean start. Everyone's off the grid. So let's warm up the tires, warm up the brakes, keep the engine temperatures cool. And then it should be all fine, and we should have a good race here. And something to actually mention is the dirty air on this track, especially in Sector 2, where you have so many high-speed corners. The dirty air is really, really horrible. It can be really horrible, especially once you're very close behind someone. So we definitely will pay attention to that as well. Sometimes you just understeer off the track, especially in this corner here, Cops Corner. Once you're behind someone pretty close, you just understeer off the out of the corner, really. So it is pretty difficult to handle that, and I think Conti will have the advantage then. He has clean air in front of him, and usually dirty air affects tire wear a little bit as well, because you pick up more understeer.
Yeah, indeed you do. The dirty air is a real issue for the drivers here, so they may want to focus on more of a higher downforce race setup, so they can avoid the dirty air as much as they can, so they don't get as much understeer and destroy the tyres, which is well known fact that dirty air does destroy the tyres, and so you will have to make two pit stops if you do opt for a lower downforce setup, as your tyres will be destroyed with the lower setup. So as Marco Conti comes around the final corner, he's coming to line up his car on the grid with all 15 drivers, and Jeroen will want to jump Patrick Holzman and get behind Marco Conti.
Right, here we go then. We are waiting for Marconi to line up on the grid. Everyone's starting on the grid, so no cars from the pit lane. And here we go. We're waiting for the 5 red lights, as they should come on any second right now. So here we go. Everyone's lined up, and we should see the 5 red lights. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're off. So let's see Jeroen, and then indeed he has a good start, I think. Can he take Patrick Holzman, who is smoking a little bit already as we go through the first corner? Now I see no contact at the moment. I think everyone went clean through there, which is a good job. See Johnny Seaman there in 4th position, having a look at Patrick Holzman actually, and he cannot get past at the moment. Still everyone, I think, clean through the first couple of corners, so awesome job by the drivers at the moment.
Yeah, they've all done an excellent job, and Jeroen has done exactly what he wanted to do, get behind Marco Conti and try and stay within a second so they can have a go on the DRS straight on lap 3. As there were a few drivers that went wide, but they've all avoided contact, which is good, because you hate to see people that have accidents. So it is really unfortunate for them who do have accidents, because it's really annoying, especially when you've worked so hard on your setups and then for it to all be taken away when you have an accident.
Indeed, awesome job by the drivers, and then even the need is someone who lost a lot of places, I think, on the start. He is down in 11th place, so he must have lost quite a few places actually. And look at Patrick Holzman now battling with Johnny Seaman down Hanger Straight into Stowe Corner. Now can Johnny Seaman take him around the outside? I don't think so. No, Patrick Holzman has that position in 3rd place, but Johnny Seaman still trying to attack him as he has a look on the inside now. No, he's too far back to do anything. As we see, that is Godek, I think. Is it? No, that's Saverly actually. Apologies for that. That is Saverly battling with Alex Diaz as well. Alex Diaz up in 6th position. Good start from him.
Yeah, indeed, it's a very good start as they all head into the first corner. Tom Sadler runs a little bit wide, but he's still doing well. That may be because of the dirty air from Alex Diaz, and Marco Conti and Jeroen have already pulled out a 2-second gap to Patrick Holzman. Like I said before, that their raw pace in them cars, they could easily pull away with this and have their own little battle up front.
And it will be interesting to see if Jeroen can now stick with Conti, or if he's going to demand too much from his tires. As something happened to Lamajan, who was driving in last place, quite a way off the car in front of him.
Yeah, indeed he is, and Johnny Simon's looking very racy behind Patrick Holzman. He really does need to pass him in order to save his tyres and, more importantly, catch up to the duo of Marco Conti and Jeroen.
Oh, Patrick Holzman had a little bit of a moment. Johnny Seaman is pretty close to him now. Johnny Seaman getting the slipstream advantage. I don't know if he's too far back, we'll see.
Yeah, if he can just keep within a second to Patrick Holzman, he can use DRS and gain that advantage and overtake Patrick Holzman, who we believe that he's running a higher downforce setup, so he could take the twisted driver on the DRS straight on lap 3.
Yeah, good point. Oh, Johnny Seaman running a little bit wider. He's trying to push, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it also could be the dirty air where he just understeered off the track, but he's still doing a good job. He just wants to manage his tyres and make sure he gets past Patrick Holzman to ensure he gets a good result for Power Across Positive Sim Racing.
I think Holzman is doing a better job now. I think he's settling into his pace a little bit more. I don't think he lost a lot of time on the last lap, so he seems to be a little bit more confident now than he was on the opening lap. Maybe he was a bit careful.
Yeah, I think that may have been the case, and both Marco Conti and Jeroen Toman are pulling out a 2.3 second gap to Patrick Holzman and Johnny Simon, so just shows how much pace they really have got here. And the other Twister driver and the Bikecross Positive driver have got no answer, especially with the dirty air. Johnny Simon is doing a very good job, looking very racy. So whether he can keep within the second to make sure he can pass Patrick Holzman.
So Simon and Torres have switched places, which is something we didn't really expect, did we? So Torres then in 5th position, and it seems like that Simon actually doesn't have a bad pace at all. He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, indeed, he does have a very good pace in that Bikecross Positive Sim Racing car. So as we enter lap 3, and Johnny Simon will have DRS on Patrick Holzman if he keeps within a second come the activation zone.
Yeah. Jeroen Toman will have DRS on Conti too. He's 6 tenths down on Conti, and actually Holzman gained in 10th on the top 2 last lap. So that's interesting. As Johnny Simon did have the best exit, I think, there, so I don't think he will be close enough now to overtake him. Can we spot some action further back with use of DRS? No, not really. We see Severly in 7th position, and Alex Diaz going off. Alex Diaz just spun in left field, that is, I think. And oh, he tried to rejoin the track and make contact with Hodes. That is, I think, the front wing lost for Alex Diaz. Yes, indeed, that's a mistake from Alex Diaz. I think he carried too much speed into that corner, and he has lost his front wing now.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate for Martin Hodas, but Thomas Ali nearly hit Alex Diaz, and Martin Hodas is really running wide, so it's really unfortunate for the precision driver, and Thomas Ali nearly did hit Alex Diaz, so Thomas Ali could have had an incident with him, but he's very lucky to get past the Bikecross Positive Sim Racing car.
Yeah, and unlucky stuff for Hodas, who just lost his front wing, collided with Alex Diaz. I think Alex Diaz actually tried to rejoin the track, so don't know if that's a mistake from Alex Diaz or his fault. It might be. Need to see the replay of that, as Hodas now needs to get back into the pits. And actually, oh, look at that! Almost makes contact with Valeriano, and Valeriano actually almost spins then again on the exit of Stoke corner. A bit hectic as Hodas now breaks for the pit limiter line. He does so perfectly fine, and now Alex Diaz is in the pits too. So that releases then Thomas Severly, and let's see what Severly's pace will be like compared to Alvaro Torres' pace. And look at that, Jeroen Toman now down the inside of Brooklands. Can he make it stick? Oh, no space. Not a lot of space given there by these guys. Leave room for each other, guys. Conti, I think, on my screen at least, he turned in a little bit on Toman, but Conti has quite a high ping for me, so that might be the reason why it looked a little bit glitchy there. But leave room for each other, guys. But Jeroen Toman then having a pretty good pace there.
Yeah, Jeroen Toman's looking very good as Marco Conti just goes a bit wide, but if Jeroen Toman keeps within the second, he can have a go on the DRS straight as Marco Conti's actually going ahead, and Marco Conti's off. Just maybe apply the power too soon, but whether Jeroen Toman has got DRS, in fact he does, so maybe he can catch up to Marco Conti, and Marco Conti's making a load of mistakes, so I don't know whether he's unsettled by Jeroen Toman coming down the inside.
He's trying to create a gap again, I think he realized now that Jeroen Toman has a good pace and he really needs to push, and Toman is just within the DRS range at the moment, just under a second. So let's see if Jeroen Toman can keep it under a second. The DRS and detection line, they just get past it, and I think he will have DRS, but we're gonna have to check that.
Yeah, Marco Conti just goes a little bit wide. If Jeroen Toman can get a good exit, which he does, and now he's got DRS, I believe. Yes, in fact he does. Can he have another go on Marco Conti, or has Jeroen Toman's tyres been suffering behind Marco Conti, and that's why Marco Conti is pulling out a gap, because he's got fresher tyres than what Jeroen Toman has. Nevertheless, under the dirty air, Jeroen Toman's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, look at Seaman and Alvaro Torres. Alvaro Torres now having a go at Seaman. Interesting stuff here, but Alvaro Torres needs to back off a little bit there in the Maggots Chapel section because of the dirty air. But Alvaro Torres picks up the pace and is pretty close to Seaman once again. Jeroen is too far back at the moment to overtake Conti. It looks like Holzman is actually closing the top 2 down again.
Yeah, I think Holzman found his rhythm with the car with this heavier fuel, and Alvaro Torres is looking quite close to Johnny Simon. Whether he can have a go on the DRS straight and he gets close enough, we'll have to find out as they cross the line to complete the 7th lap. Apologies, 6th lap, sorry.
Yeah, we can indeed see these groups forming, like the top 3 is a group, and then Johnny Seaman and Alvaro Torres, and then again Savely, Norbert Liedner and Mara Godek. And then we have then Van der Niet, who is driving a little bit on his own. Yes, Heliento behind him, but Van der Niet picked up 2 places with the Diaz and Hodes accident after Danny Van der Niet had a pretty poor start.
Yeah, but Danny Van der Niet is climbing up the places. He's come from being outside the top 10. He's now in P9. He's doing a good job for Crown 7 Netrex. If he just keeps out of any more incidents, he will achieve about a 7th place. Which would be a good result for the Netrex driver.
I see the gap between Conti and Toman keeping pretty much the same the whole time. So yeah, it's actually over a second right now. I don't think Toman will have the DRS. Oh, he does actually. Okay, that's a surprise. Didn't see that one coming. Thomas does have the DRS, but he's obviously too far back. So the gap is pretty much maintaining around a second there. But meanwhile, Jeroen does need to worry about Patrick Holzman behind him, because Holzman is actually about to get DRS on Toman. So it's an interesting battle here for the top 3.
Yeah, indeed it is, but Jeroen just needs to stay in 2nd place in order to get ahead of Mohammed Patel, as Alex Diaz just comes out of the pit lane again, and he's just been lapped by the cars, and Patrick Holzman's got a very big oversteer moment, but he's kept it very nicely in control. But I think he may be out the DRS zone now.
Yeah, Alex Diaz, I think he is done. He is driving off the track. He's rejoining the track now, and Kodak actually went into the pit, so that must definitely be a 2-stop then.
Yeah, I think the drivers are really suffering with the dirty air, with the understeer, what the dirty air creates, and the drivers are just really suffering with tyre wear here with the medium and harder compounds. So it's going to be really good for the people who selected the harder tyre, because they can jump the people who are making a 2-stop if they can get their harder tyres to last.
So that's interesting to see. That was lap 6 already, and I didn't expect that, to be honest. So he's probably on 2-stop, went onto the medium tyre, maybe trying to find a little bit of time now. I hope he's in clean air, at least that's what I hope for him. Yeah, he has a Slamajan up the road, about 3 seconds, so he needs to push now and see if he can then rejoin in front of the other guys when they pit.
Yeah, with Patrick Holzman's mistake, he's managed to, Jeroen has managed to create more of a gap to Patrick Holzman. He's got to make up all that time again and try and get past the precision driver, but now Jeroen is 1.5 seconds behind the Twister car, and I really do believe that his tyres are going off with the dirty air. So he may have to pit around lap 11 if his tyres are going off.
Yeah, same for Holzman. Holzman actually is a little bit down again, especially as Lemagen in the pits now from 11th place. And we see Patrick Holzman backing off Thierry Stoneman rear, maybe in order to prevent any further tyre wear from the dirty air, or maybe he just made a mistake or cannot keep up, I don't know. But we do see these drivers suffering though with tyre wear, with the horrible dirty air. So meanwhile behind Alvaro Torres, oh look at that, he's having a little look in Cobb's corner on Johnny Seaman, but Alvaro Torres currently cannot get past. He's pretty close now though, as Johnny Seaman has to take a little bit of a defensive line coming into Maggots. And I think Alvaro Torres, if he get a good exit here, which he does, so he actually got a really good exit there, and Johnny Seaman had a pretty poor exit. This might be Alvaro Torres' chance. DRS is wide open for him. Johnny Seaman goes defensive on the inside of Stoke corner. Alvaro Torres has to go around the outside. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Great move by Alvaro Torres. Gets the 4th position there from Johnny Seaman, and he finally has it. And let's see, Johnny Seaman pits. Seaman is in the pits then.
So he's going to try and undercut Alvaro Torres, but we'll have to see if this does work for him, because I think it really did show that his tyres were going off, which is why he had that understeer moment during the big complex in mid sector 2 as he goes for the harder tyre. So whether he's trying to get these harder tyres to the end of the race, which would be a fantastic effort from him, or whether he's going to pit around lap 26 and he's just come behind his teammate, whether team orders will come into play. And I think Alex just lets his teammate through. Oh, and actually Alex Diaz was a lap down, so apologies for that. So Johnny Simon's going to go and chase down Giancarlo Celiento.
Have a look at Norbert Liebner now. He's pretty close to Thomas Saverly up front, the Aussie. And Saverly, don't know if he's struggling with tyre wear either. Saverly is definitely on the threat from Liebner to go to Fruit Cop's corner. And look at this now, entering Baggett and Chapel. Great corner combination. I've said it before, but it's really true. I love these corner combinations, especially in the F1 car. Generating downforce as Leader made a mistake, and that drops him back by about, I think, a second or so. That drops him back a second further down on Saverly. So Norbert Liebner can start over again. Hopefully he will have the arrest, at least hopefully for him. He will have the arrest now. Otherwise it's going to be a pretty difficult task, as we see no one in the pits now. Lap 9, nobody went into the pits this lap. So this is pretty much the point where you will think about a one-stop now. I mean, doing a two-stop now is probably a little bit too late. Going for a one-stop now, well, I think you're gonna have to pit around lap 14 or so, maybe lap 12.
And Marco Conti made a mistake, and now Jiri Toman's now come ahead of him. So I was looking during sector 2 and Marco Conti was struggling and he understeered. And I just whether Marco Conti's tyres have actually gone off, but we'll have to have a replay of that.
Wow, he spun in Village Corner on corner entry. That's very, very weird to see. Maybe he locked his rear tyres or something like that. Maybe because of tyre wear. But Conti is now dropped behind Jiri Toman. Hopefully we can indeed see a replay of that. But first, Conti will maybe get Toman back straight away in the second DRS zone. We have to see. But this definitely gives Jiri Toman now the advantage, because he is now running clean air as well. And Conti actually looks to be a little bit too far back at the moment. Unless he has a good exit here, Toman struggles for exit, which is not the case actually. So we have a new leader. Lap 10, Jiri Toman leads. And a rare mistake from Conti, I think. And he indeed cannot get past here in Stoke corner.
Yeah, and that was really unfortunate for Marco Conti. I think he just locked his rear brakes, rear tyres. And so he's now behind Jiri Toman. But whether Jiri Toman wants to try and get a bigger gap to Marco Conti through the pits, we'll have to find out as they go on to lap 11. 20 laps left in this race. And Marco Conti's now only 7/10 behind Jiri Toman, but he is going to suffer with the dirty air. So whether Jiri Toman can maintain this lead and this gap, we'll have to see whether Marco Conti has got a good enough top speed with DRS to pass Jiri Toman.
I think these guys are going to pit in a lap or two, something like that, maybe the next lap. Then do 12 laps on the medium and around 19 laps on hard. I think that would be a good strategy here.
Yeah, I think they will be able to do a one stop if they do opt for that strategy, whether Toman decides to come and pit after this lap and try and jump Marco Conti.
Oh wait, sorry to interrupt you, but we have Johnny Seaman now. He catched up to Danny Van der Niet and is really close behind, and I think he got past, but no, he's not past, sorry. Danny Van der Niet lagged out for me there. I don't know how about you, James, but...
Yeah, it did.
Okay,
as well.
Okay, it's not me then. but Johnny Seaman now really close behind Danny Van Den Eede. Look at this, he cannot get any closer if he tries to again. And on those freshly set of tires, can he take him? Talk us through this, James.
So as Johnny Simon's with his DRS, has he got enough top speed, or has had that Netrex car got high enough top speed? He tries around the outside, but I don't think he can get it done. And there was a slight bit of contact between the two drivers, so they just need to keep it clean, and Johnny Simon just needs to maintain the under a second gap, and he just gets a bit of oversteer. But it just shows how much top speed that Netrex car has got, and he's really close to the Netrex car, and he's having to brake quite early because of the dirty air as he now heads into Village, and there's the DR activation zone. So whether he can have DRS and try and get past Danny Van Den Eede, he's looking up the inside, and Johnny Simon has got the inside line.
Oh! Wow, Danny Van Den Eede half spun. Don't know how he managed to keep that on track. That was magnificent. And how they didn't make contact surprises me either. I have no idea what happened there, to be honest. By the way, two guys have pitted, Saliento and Alvaro Torres on the harder tire. Now as we see, Alvaro Torres actually straight away on the fresh set of tires, overtaking Van Den Eede. But whoa, that was incredibly close. I'm gonna have a look at the replay there. I want to see what happened there.
Yeah, I think Danny Van Den Eede coming out the corner, I think he got onto the AstroTurf, and then he just oversteered into Johnny Simon. Luckily, I don't think the Pycross Positive SimRacing cars damaged as much. I don't think it's damaged as much.
Conti there's something wrong with Conti. Conti has lost his front wing. And Tolman is in the pits too. What is going on now? Tolman going for the harder tire, lap 12 of the race, but Conti is gonna have to wait another couple of seconds because he lost his front wing on the pit entry. He's going for the harder tire, but he locked his tires, I think.
He ran into the back of Jeroen Toman.
Let's have a look at the replay. There. What happened?
I think he got too much speed going into the pit line, sorry, and he just went straight into the back of Jeroen Toman. But this is great for Jeroen Toman, because now he can pull a good gap from Marco Conti, and Patrick Holzman is going to have to act on these two pitting. So that's going to really hurt Marco Conti, and whether Jeroen Toman has got any damage from the Twister car, but Marco Conti is going to be in the pit lane for a long time while his pit crew go to repair his car.
Conti is out.
So Jeroen Toman now, if he can just get a good outlap from and get past Patrick Holzman, he can take the championship lead off Mohammed Patel, so he can really capitalise on Mohammed Patel not being here. So whether Patrick Holzman comes into pit lane now, and Patrick Holzman is acting on Jeroen Toman coming into the pits, whether Jeroen Toman can now overtake the Twister driver, as now Patrick Holzman comes to take his pit box.
Yeah, and he stopped right in front of the retired car from Conti, so Conti is out. Sadler enters the pits too. But what a hectic lap there for a second. Toman, good spot by our cameraman Jaakko. Jaakko just said that Toman didn't have any additional repairs during his pit stop, so that probably shows that he doesn't have great suspension damage or something like that, because it was quite a big impact if you ask me. But it seems like Toman is doing fine at the moment.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job for Precision Motorsports, but now he's got a nice gap to Patrick Holzman, although Holzman has got clean air and has got fresher tyres. Whether Johnny Simon will look to try and overtake the Twister driver, and as Alvaro Torres looks very racy behind the Pycross Positive SimRacing car. So it seems the dirty air isn't really affecting Alvaro Torres that much, whether he's opted for a high downforce setup. So as they go into 6th gear, a bit of a lift for Johnny Simon, but whether he can overtake Holzman, but I think Johnny Simon will get DRS to Holzman if he's within a second, which I do believe he is. So So whether Johnny Simon has got DRS? No, in fact he doesn't. So Alvaro Torres is going to be looking to pass Johnny Simon, but I think Alvaro Torres is just too far behind to get past Johnny Simon.
And Torres is in the pits. Torres, wait. Why does Torres pit?
I'm not sure.
Torres, he pitted in lap 11 to go on the prime tire, and he pits again.
So has his tyres gone off that badly in that Netrex car? Has he got damage which we aren't aware of?
Maybe damage, because he's stopping for a long time. No. I don't know if he switched again to new hard tires. I think that pit stop was pretty long, so does that mean that he had some kind of suspension damage then, or what? That was pretty weird. He pitted in lap 11 and now in lap 14 he pits again.
I think he might have had a penalty of some sort, or a stop-go penalty, which would have been 10 seconds, which would have added up to, which is why he would have lost 10 seconds in that pit stop. I'm not aware of why he would have got a penalty, so maybe we can find out why he got a penalty.
That's a very good point actually. I think he might have had a penalty on the pit entry. As I said, it's such a tricky pit entry line that maybe he overshoot it and activated the pit limiter too late and took too much speed into the pit lane. I'm not sure. This is a very weird case. Might be a stop and go penalty indeed, as you said.
And Holzman is looking very good on these prime tyres. He's catching on Jiri Toman. So whether Jiri Toman can maintain this 5-second gap, or Holzman has got the pace to attack Jiri Toman, we'll have to find out. He's still got a 5.5 second gap. Has Jiri Toman to Holzman.
Severely in a pit though.
Yeah, indeed he does. He's gone for the prime tyres. I think he may come out in 8th place, maybe 9th if Azerbaiján can get past Sadler.
Well, have a look at Jiri Toman's front left tire. If we can drive on board with him, that would be good. Have a look at his front left tire. For me, it looks like he has a flat spot there. You can see the black stripe there. Maybe he locked up, and it will take some times or a couple of laps for it to stabilize it again, because you can definitely feel it. Once you make a flat spot, you will definitely feel more understeer, and you can definitely feel it in your wheel, more vibration. So that might be the case here.
Yeah, I think he did have a lock up on his front left, and whether this is going to mean he's lost tyre wear, and Patrick Holzman has got even more of an advantage to catch Jiri Toman. So we'll have to find out. I think it will come 25 laps, the 25th lap, whether Patrick Holzman can attack on Jiri Toman, as the pack is fairly spread out now, with Nora Leitner currently looking at Mark Godek, who's doing a good job for Go Speed in 4th place, and
he still needs to pit again though.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, he pitted in lap 6 for the medium tire, so he's gonna have to make another pit stop as he comes up to Alex Diaz, who we have seen before. Unfortunately for him, he made that mistake. And last lap, I think Holzman dropped back again by 2/10 on Jiri Toman. So Jiri Toman now settling down again with these new tires.
Yeah, I think that flat spot has now gone off his left front tyre, and for some reason Giuseppe Marconi is now disqualified from the race. I'm not sure where that's from, but
yeah. You're absolutely right, Marconi has disqualified. And meanwhile we see Norman Leitner on the back of Godek. Can he already take him here into Brooklyn? No, he cannot. That was pretty close. We see Godek making a little bit of a lock-up there too. Godek under pressure, but at the same time he is at the end of his stint, and Norman Leitner just started his stint on those harder tires. So Godek, I presume we will see him in the pits soon to change tires. But look at the speed advantage Leitner has. He's going on the inside of Kopp's corner, and he takes that 4th position. Good job down the inside of Kopp's corner. Godek didn't want to put up a huge fight there. Smart driving by the pair of them. They are not racing for position here, as Kodak needs to pit again.
Yeah, that was very clean racing from both of them, and it was a very nice pass from Norbert Laitner, similar to what Lewis Hamilton did back in 2010, I believe it was. I'm not too sure when it was, but he did an inside pass onto that corner. And so it was a very nice pass from Norbert Laitner there.
As we see though, this group here with Alvaro Torres in 7th, we obviously think he has fresh tires, or maybe, I don't know actually, maybe he is still on the same set tires, not sure, but he is pretty close behind Danny van der Niet in 6th. Danny van der Niet made a little bit of a mistake, I think, in Abbey, not too great of a mistake, though it wasn't a big mistake or anything like that, but it definitely puts Torres quite close to him. As look at this, Alvaro takes a little bit of a different line in order to get early on the throttle. He has done a pretty good job. So is he close enough to overtake Danny van der Niet down Wellington Straight? He opens up the DRS.
I wonder whether team orders will come into play for NetRex, or they're just going to let them race like what Mercedes are doing with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. But I think this may compromise Alvaro Torres' race if he doesn't get past his teammate, because he really does need to challenge on Norbert Laitner if we take Marek Godek out of the equation, because he still has to pit on them medium tyres.
Horrible corner for Alvaro Torres then in Cobb's corner. He picked up so much understeer from his teammate, and has a little bit of a moment too in Maggots. Torres, I think he is pushing very hard, and yeah, you can see his car wiggling all over the place. He's fighting his car, and look at that! He just weaved. I think that's out of frustration as Danny van der Niet gets by Marek Godek. I think Marek Godek, we will see him pitting soon, but interesting start from Danny van der Niet, or from Danny van der Niet indeed, as he almost lost it. As Godek indeed pits now, and again Alvaro Torres is really close to Danny van der Niet. Will make the mistake on the exit of Stoke corner. He picked up a lot of oversteer. Again, Alvaro Torres get by him now, and again he picks up a lot of dirty air, goes wide, and now he's gonna have a look down in the first corner, but no, that's not gonna happen. And look how much he backed off there just to get out of that dirty air as much as possible. So he gets now, he's well within the DRS range here. So can he take him this time?
Yeah, well, I think it shows how much the dirty air is affecting all the drivers, and. Danny van der Niet nearly hit Marek Godek when he died for pit lane, and now Alvaro Torres is looking on his teammate with DRS. Oh, and they both make contact!
Wow, what happened there? Two teammates and they're off.
I think Alvaro Torres just turned in on his teammate. I think that's more frustration for the Spanish driver. I think they may have damage on their cars, but that's very much affected both of their races, and now Thomas Sadler is in between the NetRex duo. So there's a NetRex sandwich, and maybe Thomas Sadler can look to pass Alvaro Torres if he's got enough tyre life in his tyres. And look at that, Thomas Sadler is just catching up to Alvaro Torres, whether Alvaro Torres' tyres are going off. But that was a really bad mistake from both of the drivers. It's really unfortunate for Danny van der Niet, which I don't think he could have done anything.
Well, let's have a look at a replay if we can, because that is going to affect the races quite a bit. Let's have a look at the replay. I'm going to check Danny van der Niet's point of view, as Alvaro Torres was on the outside of the next corner, and this is a hard one to judge. I think Alvaro Torres turned in a little bit on him, but at the same time, Danny van der Niet, I don't know, he keeps his wheels slightly straight, but I don't know, it's a tough one. I think Torres turned in quite a bit on him.
I think Torres just turned in too early, and Danny van der Niet didn't really expect he was going to turn in that soon. Yeah. So I think it could be classified as a racing incident, but it's really unfortunate for both drivers if it is classified as a racing incident, or whichever one gets the penalty. But this is great for Thomas Sadler, because now he can look at the NetRex driver of Alvaro Torres. I think he is within a second, so he's doing a good job for Go Speed, as is Marek Godek in 9th place.
So lap 21, giving you a little update on the leaders. The gap is still pretty much maintaining between Thoman and Holzman. Thoman having a almost 6-second lead right now, so Thoman is looks good. If he makes no mistakes, keeps his head cool, he should be good here for a win, I think. And Holzman looks pretty steady there too in second place. He has a 25-second gap to Seaman in third position. But Seaman, however, is being changed down a little bit by Liedner. But I think at the same time that the gap is pretty much maintaining as well.
Yeah, and I think it just shows how much pace these precision and twister cars have got. For Jeroen Thoman to be 30 seconds ahead of the Barocross positive driver is just exceptional driving from both Patrick Holzman and Jeroen Thoman. So I think it just shows how much of a good setup both teams have got. Johnny Simon nonetheless is doing a fantastic job for Barocross Positive SimRacing. Maybe they could look to keep Johnny Simon permanently in the World Championship since he did such a good job last time out in Canada. And Norbert Leitner is now 2.4 seconds away from Johnny Simon, and that mistake has cost Alvaro Torres the chance to catch up to Norbert Leitner.
I think Johnny Seaman though is once again one very strong driver. He always looks good in the races, doesn't he?
Yeah, indeed he does. It's a fantastic first season he's having so far for Barocross Positive SimRacing. So whether Tom Sully can now catch up to Alvaro Torres with DRS open, whether he can try and catch up to the NetRex driver, or whether Alvaro Torres has just got too much of a gap for Tom Sully to capitalise on using DRS. But now the gap, which was 30 seconds for Jeroen Thoman, is now 29.3 to Johnny Simon, and actually between Jeroen Thoman and Patrick Holzman it's now 6.1 seconds. So maybe Patrick Holzman made a mistake on his last lap, on lap 21. So like you said, if Jeroen Thoman makes no mistakes, keeps his head cool, he will most definitely take the win here at Silverstone for the feature race of this Ace Series.
Yeah, and I just saw Sadler out of the final turn have a huge oversteer moment, which released Alvaro Torres now. I think Torres is about 2 seconds ahead of him if I look at it visually. And we had a good battle too between Godek and Saliento, but Saliento actually pitted. So Saliento dropped to 11th place now. And I think the closest battle on track currently is, what is it?
Thomas Sadler and Alvaro Torres at the moment.
Probably. But unfortunately, as I said, Sadler dropped back a little bit, so not a lot of action at the moment.
Yeah, it's a 1.2 second gap between the NetRex and Ghost Speed car. Although Sadler has now got DRS, I just don't think he has got enough top speed on that Ghost Speed car to try and pass Alvaro Torres. So we'll have to find out whether Tom Sadler can catch him up through the sectors 1 and 2. So and Sadler just has a big oversteer moment. Maybe he's really struggling on them prime tyres. Maybe he's got tyre degradation, and he's just gone onto the marbles. I think he's okay now, but just had a big oversteer moment from Thomas Sadler there. And he's actually run wide going into the third corner, which is Village Corner, and he's got more understeer. So whether Tom Sadler is really struggling with his tyres now, he's obviously out of the DRS zone, so that's relieved Alvaro Torres. So less pressure from Thomas Sadler on Alvaro Torres. So now Thomas Sadler's got to make up all that ground on Alvaro Torres if he wants to try and pass the NetRex car.
We see Johnny Seaman behind Valeriano. Valeriano should move out of the way, which he does so cleanly. Valeriano was the back marker there. Patrick Holzman now 7 seconds down on Jeroen Thoman, so Jeroen Thoman is actually putting the hammer down quite a bit. Last time I checked, the gap was about 6 seconds, and now it's 7.2, so 1.2 gain for Jeroen Thoman. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, and it's a very good job from the precision driver. So we're on lap 24. Jeroen still leads from Patrick Holzman, Johnny Simon, Norbert Leitner, Albora Torres, Sadler, Danny Vandeni, Marek Godek, Martin Hedas, Artem Asamlaishan, Giancarlo Saliento, Guido Valeriano and Alex Diaz rounding out the 13 drivers.
Severely spun.
He actually gets out of the way for all the drivers, making it very safe. Good job from Thomas Sadler, but it's really unfortunate that he spun. So it's really showing that his tyres are going off, in fact, and now he's got his teammate behind him. So whether team orders come into play for go speed and Marek Godek is let through by his teammate, we'll have to find out, because I do believe Marek Godek's tyres are fresher than what Thomas Sadler's are, because Marek Godek pitted sooner. So whether Thomas Sadler lets him past, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, Severly put it in lap 15. I think Godek did it in lap 17, something like that. So Severly, I think he has Godek, sorry, the other way around. Severly put it in lap 15 and Godek in lap 17, I think. So Godek has the fresher set of tires, and we see Severly indeed just struggling a lot. He really has been struggling on the second stint of the race, really.
Yeah, I think indeed he is. So whether he's trying to get these tires to the end of the race, but I think it would be more beneficial if Marek Godek was let past, because this is going to really hurt Marek Godek with his tyres, and if Marek Godek's got more pace than Thomas Sadler on in this stint, then maybe Thomas Sadler should let Marek Godek pass. But I think Thomas Sadler's now picked up the pace a bit, and he's now doing a good job for go speeds now. With, I think after that off, he's woken up a bit, if that's fair to say. So he's still doing an excellent job. And as we see, Alex Diaz with Guido just being lapped again by Danny Vandeni.
A little bit further down the field, we see Slamajan, who is in 10th position, point paying spot, battling with Saliento for the 10th position then. And Saliento is pretty close behind Slamajan, actually. Saliento might get the pass done if he sticks with Slamajan and then has DRS on him and activated down at first DRS zone.
Yeah, indeed, Saliento could have a pass on the Muscaturu driver, and they both take different lines. Saliento opts for more of a tighter line going into the DRS section of Silverstone, but Azerbaijan is going to the left-hand side. But I don't think Saliento has got enough top speed to pass the Muscaturu driver.
Oh, he doesn't. Slamajan had a top speed of 304 kilometers an hour there, and Saliento with DRS 310, so 6 kilometers an hour speed difference. That's not a lot, really. He needs to be closer.
Yeah, indeed he does. It just shows how much downforce both of these drivers are running for Silverstone. As we just update you on the gap between Jeroen and Patrick Holzman, it's now 7.7 seconds away. So Jeroen doing an excellent job for Precision Motorsports. How many times have we said that throughout the season? Because he is such a great driver, and he's definitely worth Precision having him after he did such a great season in the Winter Series. So Jeroen definitely showing how good he is.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time I'm wondering what it would be like if Conti was still driving, and even Patel. What if Patel would be in this race? We have seen great things as well from Patel during this season.
Yeah, indeed we have. We can never mark Mohamed Patel off at all. He's such an amazing driver, such an asset to Twister, and he's done such a good job in the World Championship as well. So it's unfortunate for him not to be here, but hopefully he does race in the World Championship, because after all, at the end of the day, he is such a fantastic driver for Twister.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I completely agree with you. As Godek is still behind Severly, the two Go Speed drivers, they seem to be the closest battle at the moment out on track. apart from Saliento and his Lemon, but Saliento just doesn't have a top speed, and Godek here got a pretty good run out of Chapel Corner. Can he take Godek? Godek picking up the slipstream a little bit from Alex Diaz there, getting out of the way, and no, Godek is too far back, even with DRS. The speed difference there between Godek and Savely didn't look that huge, even though Godek had DRS. And what would Godek be thinking right now? Does he really want Savely to let him pass? So Godek is obviously on those fresh set of tires, but Savely, I think he wanna fight a little bit for it, to be honest.
Yeah, well actually they're both catching the driver for Crown 7 Netrex being Dan Van Den Eet. So whether both of the Ghost Speed cars are trying to pass Danny Van Den Eet, and that's what they're thinking at the moment. So
yeah.
So as Marco just gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit, and they're both now on the DRS zone. So whether Sadler has now got DRS, no, in fact he doesn't. He's too far back from the Crown 7 Netrex car.
Yeah, well, that was actually a really good point made by you. I think Savely is just trying to drag Godek with him towards Danny Van Den Eet and then put up a fight. And actually, let's compare the lap times actually, because Danny Van Den Eet, his last couple of laps, let's have a look, 36.0, 36.7, 37.0, 36.2, so not really consistent. And on the other hand, let's have a look at Savely. 136.1, 135.6. Savely goes wide though. Savely wide in Chapel, and look at this. Godek now is going to get him probably with the DRS. As Savely is still on the outside of Stoke Corner. Whoa, Godek! Look at that. Godek moved over quite a bit on Savely, but just about fit in there. That was really close driving between the drivers. I think Savely actually lifted off the throttle there. Didn't want to make contact, obviously, but. Continuing on those lap times, Savely was actually, I think, average 6/10 quicker than Danny Van Den Eet, and now it's Godek up front, and I believe that Godek has a better pace, so Godek might be able to catch up to Danny Van Den Eet even quicker than Savely could have done. But Savely will have DRS though on Godek, as Savely, he is really pushing, but his tires are not there really. I see him struggling so much the whole time with tires. His tires are just not there to push. He has DRS though, so is Ghost Speed going to do the same tactic as they did last time, but then the other way around? So drag Savely right now towards Danny Van Den Eet with Godek. Although Savely went wide there. Yeah, I think Savely is done. He's struggling with his tires a lot with just 2 laps to go now, and he dropped off Godek and definitely out of the DRS range, I would say.
Yeah, it was very close driving between Godek and Sadler. Godek did a nice pass with DRS, but they both did a good job to avoid each other, especially Sadler. But now Godek, like you said, can now hunt down on Danny Van Den Eet. We've still got 13 drivers in this race, as we are on lap 29 with Jiri Toman and Patrick Holzman and Johnny Simon all on lap 29. And Thomas Sadler just had a bit of an oversteer moment, but now Godek has caught up to Danny Van Den Eet. So whether Danny Van Den Eet has lost his tyres, because it appears he has got a little bit of flat spots on his tyres, if I'm not mistaken. And now Godek can maybe have a look at the Netrex driver. So he's now crossed the activation line, detection line, and he's now got DRS. So whether he's got enough top speed to take the Crown 7 Netrex driver, so he's right behind the Crown 7 Netrex driver. As Danny Van Den Eet goes left, Godek's got DRS. He's heading down the inside, and there was a huge lockup from Godek, but he's managed to get the job done. It's a good pass from Godek. Danny Van Den Eet did a good job to avoid Godek. Good driving by both of the drivers.
Yeah, Danny Van Den Eet went defensive to the left, as you said, but still Godek managed to find just a little spot there to sneak through on the inside and just took that position, but had indeed a huge lockup, and then Van Den Eet actually doing a good job to avoid him there. Don't know if there was any contact. There wasn't on my screen, but you never know with the lag and the issues. So Jiri Tomadan, he's done a good job this race, hasn't he? Final lap for him. 8.7 seconds clear of Holzman. Awesome job by him.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a very
then even
good job from Jeroen Tomanen. Pardon?
I saw Danny Van der Niet going really wide in Stoke corner, so he's struggling now even more. And that puts Sadler right behind him.
Yeah, indeed it does. Well, try and overtake the Netrex car, so this is going to come to the final lap. And Jeroen Tomanen's just entering into the final sector. So he will take this win on the feature race for Silverstone. It's been a fantastic job from Jeroen Tomanen. He's coming around the final few corners. Jeroen Tomanen for Precision Motorsports has done an amazing job to go from third to first. Jeroen Tomanen comes to take first place here at Silverstone, and a fantastic job from the Precision driver as well with Patrick Holzman. Another good job for the Twister driver, and I'm sure they will both be delighted with their efforts.
Congratulations to the top two, as we can wait for a pretty long time until Johnny Seaman comes through the line, which he does so now. So he rounds up the podium as he finishes in third position. And
another amazing job from Johnny Simon. And Thomas Sally's just had an oversteer moment. I think he just got on the power too early, and it's really unfortunate for the Ghostspeed driver. And he's now dropped down to 11th place. Really unfortunate for the Ghostspeed driver.
He's not gonna like that, is he?
No, indeed he isn't. But he still has the feature race, the sprint race, which is after this race. But
look at Saliento!
He still gets some good points, but now there's a huge lockup. Or was there a spin?
No, lockup from Saliento.
Oh, right, okay. And Martin Hodas comes in 8th place with Saliento in 9th, and Artemis Asmarjan rounding out the top 10. Disappointed Thomas Sadler, and I'm sure he'll be very angry in that Ghostspeed car. And Valeriano round in 12th place, and Alex Diaz rounding out the 13 driver finish, with Marco Conti not finishing the race because of suspension damage from the Jeroen Tomanen and the Marco Conti incident, and Marconi just disqualified, which we aren't aware of why he did disqualify. But Jeroen Tomanen wins the Silverstone Grand Prix on this feature race, with Patrick Holzman in 2nd, Johnny Simon in 3rd, Norbert Lehner in 4th, Alvaro Torres in 5th, Matt Godek in 6th, good job from him, Danny Van der Niet in 7th, Martin Hodas in 8th, Shonalo Saliento in 9th, and Artem Asmarjan in 10th place. It's a very good race here at Silverstone for this feature race. We've still got the sprint race to come.
Yeah, sprint race to come. Just coming back on Saliento and Asmarjan, I saw Saliento locking up there. He's classified as 9th position, but if I have to be fair, it wouldn't surprise me if Saliento gets a penalty for that. He was pretty aggressive on the inside of Asmarjan there. They made contact, and in the end, Saliento took the position then. But I don't know. We will see it. That might be the job for the stewards, obviously.
So quite possibly, Saliento could get a time penalty, which would mean he'd drop down to 10th place, and Asmarjan would get 9th. So it was a really good race in this feature race. I hope you agree with me, Jeroen. And we're going to have a little break between the feature race and the sprint race. So we will see you in 10 minutes.
Welcome back to the live coverage of the, what was it, the 6th round of the 2014 Formula SimRacing A Series. You are joined again by me and James for the sprint race. So the top 8 from the feature race will be reversed now, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, indeed I am as well. It's a fantastic race, and I'm hoping that we won't have any accidents come the start of the race, which is in fact in 10 seconds. So Alvaro Torres currently fastest in this warm-up session, with Jeroen in 2nd and Marco Conti in 3rd, and Johnny Simon 4th, Patrick Holzman 5th, Thomas Sadler 6th, Martin Herdas 7th, Dan Vandeny 8th, and Ginalo Saliento 9th, and Guido Valiano rounding out the top 10. So who do you think could be a contender for a victory here in this race?
Good point. I think Torres. I think Torres is going to do well. He has the pace, and I think we will see him moving further up the field. Don't know how about you, but it will be interesting at the same time to see what Jeroen can do in 8th position behind behind Patrick Holzman. I see everybody so far on the soft tire. I think no, Saliento is on prime tire. Same for Alex Diaz. Same for Marconi, and the rest of the field is on the medium tire, the softer tire for this weekend. So they think they can do 16 laps on those medium tires. That is optimistic, but at the same time, I think you can make it. But it just really depends again on the dirty air, I think.
Yeah, indeed it does. It's definitely a big ask from them medium tires to get them 16 laps on this sprint race to the end. So this is your top 10. So we've got Martin Herdas in 1st place, then we've got Danny Vandeny in 2nd, Marek Godek in 3rd, Alvaro Torres in 4th, Norbert Leitner in 5th, Johnny Simon in 6th, Patrick Holzman in 7th, Jeroen in 8th, Ginalo Saliento in 9th, and Artem Azerbaijan in 10th place. So as they all come round on the formation lap, they're doing a fantastic job, is Jeroen. So it's definitely got the makings to be another good race. The feature race was, and we hope you guys at home did enjoy it. So we are back for sunny Silverstone, and Martin Herdas is currently leading the pack on this formation lap.
What do you think about Marco Conti, starting from 14th position now? He obviously is a strong contender in a Twister car. I definitely think he is able to move up the field, but does he have the patience for it? I mean, there are 16 laps to go. He doesn't need to clear them all in one lap. He needs to stay cool, I think, and then see where he ends up. Obviously, we don't really want to see any incidents here. So it's once again a pretty long race. Obviously, not as long as the feature race, but 16 laps is plenty of time to do some overtaking.
Yeah, indeed it is. He just needs to clear all the drivers ahead of him, so he can try and get some valuable points for Twister, which they did lose out in the feature race as Martin Herdas and Danny Vandeny line up in their pit box. Danny Vandeny is on the dirty side, so Marek Godek will try and capitalise on Godek being on the cleaner side of the track. So as we have Martin Herdas in 1st place, followed by Danny Vandeny in 2nd, Marek Godek in 3rd. So as the drivers wait for the lights, we have 1 light, we have 2 lights, we have 3 lights, we have 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go at Silverstone, and Martin Herdas gets a good start. Danny Vandeny is still in 2nd place, so he's also got a good start, and they're all looking clean at the start. Oh, and there's a huge contact, I believe that's
Conti, yeah.
Conti's had a horrible weekend, if that is a DNF for him as well, but so far they've kept him clean other than the incident with Conti, and Danny Vandeny and Marek Godek still retain their respective positions, and Alvaro Torres is still in 4th place, I believe, and Johnny Simon's doing a good job, and Patrick Holzman and Jeroen have moved up a place, and that was a really eventful start, and I think Marco Conti's still in the race. Despite that huge incident. We'll have to try and get a replay of what happened at the start.
Yeah, he was flying. There was definitely contact made between some drivers, I'm sure.
Yeah, indeed there was. So, Martin Honas doing a fantastic job for precision. He's managed to get out a 1.3 second gap to Danny van der Neet. He was also doing a good job for Grand 7 Netrex, with Marek Godak in third doing also a good job for Go Speed, with Alvaro Torres and then Patrick Holzman, Johnny Simon, Chewy Toman, Giancarlo Saliento, Norbert Leitner and Thomas Sadler, who's gained a place, all rounds out the top 10. So, despite that incident with Conti, it's been fairly clean from all the drivers.
Rounding up the first lap now, yeah.
What do you think to that start, Jeroen?
Well, I had a little bit of a look on at the back, and I saw it starting with Severly. I think there was contact made between someone and Severly then too, and that pretty much caused a chain reaction, I think, and we saw Conti flying through the air. But saying that, Conti is a second behind Diaz and actually lining him up for a pass already. So Conti doesn't seem to have too much damage at the moment, although I'm pretty sure he must have slight suspension damage at least.
Yeah, I do think so as well. And also he's lost all that time, and he's now 9 seconds away from Martin Honas, and he's still got to clear all the field with perhaps a slightly damaged car. But Chewy Toman looking quite close to Johnny Simon, and Johnny Simon's looking quite close to Patrick Holzman. So far it's been pretty clean. All the drivers are very close to each other. It's looking more closer than what it did in the feature race. Yeah. And Chewy Toman really does need to pass Johnny Simon, and I think he just went a little bit wide, in fact. But he really does need to clear Johnny Simon so he can get onto Holzman. So
look at Godak and Torres though. Made a little bit of contact in Stoke corner as Torres tried to pass Godak, as Patrick Holzman tries to capitalize on that, which is not working at the moment. He was too far back, but I saw some contact between Torres and Godak in Stoke corner when they entered it side by side.
Yeah, there was definitely some contact there, and now Martin Honas has got a 2.4 second lead to Danny van der Neet. Doing a very good job for Precision Motorsports. Maybe he can take a victory for Precision Motorsports, and what a weekend that would be for Precision Motorsports. Two first finishes in both the feature and the sprint race. That'd be a great weekend for them. But Danny van der Neet still going strong in second place, despite being 2.5 seconds behind Martin Honas, as is Godak for Go Speed. If he finishes in third, it would be a fantastic finish for Godak.
Conti, meanwhile, something has happened again with Conti. He tried to line up Diaz, I think, for a pass, and he just spun. We have seen that as well with Danny van der Neet in the feature race, where he just had oversteer on that corner. It's on the exit of the loop, a very tricky corner. But things aren't going well for Conti at all, and he dropped back 7 seconds of Diaz.
No, indeed it isn't looking good for Conti. It's really unfortunate for him, with him having such a bad weekend, when he's done all that, when he's had such amazing pace in that twister car, and it's all just gone to pieces during the races. And we just hope he has a better race come round 7, which is after the summer break. I believe FSR is off for 4 weeks between the Silverstone and the round 7 Grand Prix.
So we see Jeroen being pretty close behind Johnny Seaman, and it's interesting to see the lines the drivers are taking here. Will you carry a bit more speed into the loop, as Seaman just had a huge oversteer moment there that will compromise his exit, definitely, and Jeroen might be able to overtake him here. No, he's too far back at the moment. Yeah, he definitely has. We see some action further back though. Leadner going down the inside on Severly, and Leadner gets that move done. And as Lemonjan in 11th place now behind Severly. So we see some bollards flying there. I think someone hit the bollards before Cops corner. And Godak going wide. A lot more people actually going wide in Cops corner. A lot of understeer obviously because of the dirty air. But Godek, I wouldn't say he is not picking up a lot of dirty air from Van der Neet, so Godek perhaps struggling.
Yeah, I think he is with the tyres and the dirty air, but we'll have to see if he can manage them tyres and try and get them to the end of this sprint race. But if he can't, he will have to make a pit stop, and that will ultimately compromise his race finish.
We see now Peter Osman. Little look on the inside of Alvaro Torres. Look at this, those three are so close to each other. Well, four with Alvaro Torres leading that group in 4th position, and then Thoman, look at this, in 7th position there. Look at this though, Johnny Seaman on the inside of Horseman. The Horseman actually takes that place, I think, although Johnny Seaman got the undercut there on the inside now of Village. Seaman definitely not giving up there, and Horseman tries to stick around the outside, and no, cannot get that move done, but Seaman goes deep into the loop, and that will compromise his exit probably a little bit. And now look at this, they're really close. Peter Horseman is gonna try to pass Seaman, but meanwhile look at Jerry Thoman as well. But no changes in order there, but close battling between these guys, and that releases the pressure a little bit on Alvaro Torres' shoulders, as we see Horseman going a bit wide on the exit of Lovefield, I think it is, or Brookland. I think it's Lovefield. But look at Hoda, so he has almost a 4-second lead over Danny Van der Neet, so Hoda's doing a good job. And look at Seaman now though. Seaman now is trying to get past Alvaro Torres, and will he be able to do it? He's on the inside of Stowe Corner. I think he's got the move done. Yep, got the move done. And that's 4th position for Johnny Seaman. Can he make up more position now as Alvaro Torres tries to get back? Johnny Seaman going defensive, and Torres, whoa, round the outside, he gets the place back. What an awesome move from Alvaro Torres, not having that. He doesn't give up and gets the move done around the outside of the braking zone. Awesome job by Torres, and what a close race so far this has been.
Yeah, indeed it is, and
look again at Seaman, trying to line up Torres for a pass. But will Torres have DRS on a Kodak, because that will help him? I don't think he has though. No, he hasn't got DRS, so that won't help him. And here we go, Johnny Seaman too far back at the moment though. We don't see that much passing going on down the Wellington Straight. It might be a bit too short. A lot of passing going on Hanger Straight. Further back, it's Thomas Savely and Norbert Liedner battling for 9th position. They have been pretty close all race long too. And look again at Seaman just being so close. Oh, whoa! What the hell? Johnny Seaman just weaving all over the back of Alvaro Torres. It looked very spectacular, to be honest. But Johnny Seaman once again looks really close behind Alvaro Torres. I think he's gonna get a move done again with use of DRS. He's picking up the slipstream too. Can he make this move stick? No, actually he cannot. I thought he would make the move stick because he looked pretty close, but no, he's too far back at the moment. And then do the same thing as Alvaro Torres did to him. No, Johnny Seaman is too far back at the moment. This is good racing though at the moment, and Hoda's 3.2 seconds clear of Danny Van der Neet now. Then Danny Van der Neet another 1 second gap, well about 2 seconds it is now to Godek, and then we see that awesome battle for 4th position with Torres, and once again Johnny Seaman seems really close, but the Crown 7 Netrex car of Torres has a pretty good straight line speed, I must say.
yeah, indeed it does. Sorry.
And I think Thomas Savely has made a mistake because he has fallen back as Lamagen, and he was battling for 9th position before, so something has happened there, definitely. But Johnny Seaman doesn't really get affected too much by the dirty air from Alvaro Torres, which which bothers me quite a bit, because you see a lot of drivers just having a lot of understeer, especially through Cobb's Corner, but it doesn't look like Johnny Seaman is struggling with it that much, so probably a higher downforce setup, as Alvaro Torres and that group basically is closing the gap to Godek as well, and Holzman now putting the pressure on Seaman too, so good battling here. But look at Doman, meanwhile, he's looking there too, and Seaman actually pitting lap 6 out of 16, and Johnny Seaman comes into the pits to change his tires. And he goes for the medium tire. So that releases Seaman from that group. Remember, you don't have to use both compounds in these sprint races, so that's why we saw Johnny Seaman putting on the medium tire and not the harder tire. So that actually released the pressure a little bit on that group, as they are not as close as before. I think there's not as much battling going on anymore, but actually that group has just become bigger, because Alvaro Torres dragged Patrick Holzman and Jerry Toman with him along the way to Godek, and then even the need in front. And actually Peter Holzman now is pretty close to Alvaro Torres, so Torres the whole time in defensive mode. And Conti, up to Conti. Conti is out of the race. That's another DNF for Conti. And Conti, what happened? I'm gonna have a look here. In the Lovefield, he made slight contact with Marconi, and yep, Conti spun around, made contact with Marconi. Marconi perhaps closing the door on him, perhaps Conti being too aggressive, I don't know. That's up to the stewards. But Conti again out of this race, and what a bad weekend for Conti it has been then.
Yeah, indeed it is. It's been such an unfortunate weekend for the Twister driver, and we just hope he can have a better race come round 7.
So Godek is putting the pressure on Danny van der Nied a little bit more now. And the gap between Hodes and Danny van der Nied is 5 seconds. Hodes is really doing an awesome job at the moment, keeping his head cool, making no mistakes at the moment. Pretty flawless drive from him at the moment, in my opinion. And he's definitely looking good at the moment. He's actually, I think we can say that he's looking good for a win here, because the rest of the field is just stuck, it looks like it. Jerry Toman is stuck, Patrick Holzman cannot really make a move, so yeah, good job from Hodes.
Yeah, it's a very good job from Hodes, and if he does take the win here, I'm sure he'll be very much delighted, and Precision will no doubt be delighted with both of their drivers' efforts, getting 2 wins from Silverstone if that is possible for them. But still, Danny van der Nied and Marit Godek doing a good job for their respective teams. And Alvaro Torres isn't that far behind in that crossover Netmex car. Then we got Holzman, where Godek's just run wide, and so is Torres. But now Torres is right on the back of Godek. So whether Torres can look, and so we're going to have to find out. So Torres gets good traction, but I think Godek is ahead of Torres just enough so that Torres can't make a pass. But as you can see, Torres just got huge understeer from the dirty air, just showing how. Oh, and there's a tap from Holzman there, I believe.
Yeah, that was a tap from Holzman indeed, and now Holzman that compromised his line for the next corner. And look at this, Jerry Toman around the outside. Be careful there, we have seen plenty of action there indeed with oversteer. And again, we saw Holzman almost spinning. We have seen it there so many times. Once you go off that ideal racing line, there is no grip. There's not a lot of grip there. It's dirty, and we have seen a lot of drivers spinning out there, including Conti.
Yeah, we definitely have, and it's exactly what Jerry Toman needs, which is to get ahead of Patrick Holzman, which will ultimately get Precision to catch up to Twister Racing, who are currently leading in the championship, which is then followed by Precision Motorsports. But now Jerry Toman's going to try and hunt down Alvaro Torres in the Crown 7 Netrex car. Martin Honas is having a flawless race so far. He's completed 50% of the distance required, and he's doing a good job for precision. There is a huge train between I believe it's 4 drivers, including Danny Van Der Neat, Marek Godek, Alvaro Torres and Jeroen Toman. Oh, and not to forget Patrick Holzman as well.
Yeah, 5 drivers in there.
But they're all going to really suffer from tyre wear with the dirty air, but Alvaro Torres is very much close to Marek Godek, and he's going to try and pass Godek using DRS, but then again, Godek has got DRS from Danny Van Der Neat, so whether Torres has got enough straight line speed to pass Godek, which I don't think he has. So if Godek just keeps in front of Alvaro Torres and just keeps behind Danny Van Der Neat, I don't think Alvaro Torres will be able to pass the Go Speed driver.
Look at this though, again, really close racing between these drivers. A lot of racecraft is required here, and they have done a pretty good job at the moment. Pretty clean driving. Although we have seen that mistake from Holzman. I don't know if you can really call it a mistake. Haven't seen it that well, so I cannot judge really. But that definitely dropped him in place, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate, but it is really good that they're looking in their mirrors, not and avoiding any contact from anybody else. So it's nice clean driving from all the drivers so far, and we just hope it stays that way, because it's always awful to see somebody have to DNF like what Marco Conti has done. So it's been real unfortunate for Marco Conti, but let's just focus on the front of the field, and Martin Honas still leading by a huge gap to Danny Van Der Neat now, and Godek still holding station in 3rd place, and I still believe he will have DRS thanks to Danny Van Der Neat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So because Marek Godek has got DRS, Alvaro Torres just cannot pass the Go Speed car, and I'm sure that's going to frustrate Alvaro Torres. And nevertheless, they're all doing a good job. They're all keeping it clean as Godek is getting closer to Danny Van Der Neat. Whether Godek can look to pass the Netrace car, but he's just gone wide, and this has allowed Alvaro Torres to come and take 3rd place off him, and Jeroen Toman just gets past the Go Speed car. It's a fantastic move from the Precision Motorsports driver. And
look at Holzman.
And Holzman's now looking at Marek Godek, and he's just lost 3 positions in the space of a quarter of a lap. So that's really unfortunate for Godek, but maybe his tyres have gone off, and in fact he does pit, so really unfortunate for Godek. But as we can see, Jeroen Toman is going to want to pass Alvaro Torres to make sure he can capitalise on Mohamed Patel not being here, and Marco Conti DNFing. So if Jeroen Toman could get a podium here, that would be an end to a fantastic weekend for him, and I'm sure the Precision team will be delighted with his efforts.
Yeah, we really come onto the stage now of the race where we will see whether the drivers have pushed too much and demanded too much from the tires, and they really need to do some tire saving. 16 laps on those medium tires is pretty much the limit, as Torres nailed that corner completely really. He just went over that apex as much as he could, and that puts him right up behind Alvaro Torres now as they go and come onto Cobb's corner. And let's have a look. Will Jeroen Toman have a bit of understeer? Yeah, you can definitely just visually, you can see him dropping back, and look at Patrick Holzman closed down on Jeroen Toman there too. And further back we see some side-by-side action with Sadler and Liedner, and Sadler then actually lost the position to Seaman too. So what happened there? Couldn't really see it. I think Sadler just got compromised there.
I think it was because Norbert Leitner just wasn't as quick as what Sadler was going into that corner, and then Johnny Simon just went straight through Sadler, which I believe that's because of Sadler's high ping, and so he just went straight through the Ghost Speed car, which isn't really fair on Sadler, but that's what's happened. You can't really change what has happened. So Martin Halas on lap 13.
Oh, look at Holzman. Holzman going down the inside on Jeroen Thoman. And they go to the spin and they spin. They both spin, and now there are cars coming up trying to avoid them. And Patrick Holzman went for the move on Jeroen Thoman, and they have spun in the loop. Wow, replay is definitely needed there. That was such an unexpected moment.
Yeah, I think it was because Jeroen Thoman just I think it was because Patrick Holzman just turned in on Jeroen Thoman, and Jeroen Thoman had nowhere else to go, and that's forced him to spin.
Look at Seaman now going side by side with Sadler through Cobb's corner. They go side by side and they are inside each other again. Both have high pings, both come from Australia, which probably explains the high ping and the lag that is going on there. But somehow they got clean through there. And Sadler is still in front of Seaman, but I wonder for how long, because Seaman now gets DRS, and look who is behind them. That is Jeroen Thoman again. And Seaman around the outside of Sadler, can he make that move stick? Yes, he can, I think. Yep.
That is a fantastic move from Johnny Simon. What a move that was. He managed to get such a good exit coming out the high-speed corner complex, and what a fantastic move Johnny Simon did, and he will most definitely be pleased with that. So now Alvaro Torres is in third place. He can take Danny Vandenette, but I think they'd rather keep the 2, 3 and 4 from all their Netrex cars, which will be a fantastic haul of points for Netrex. So that would be my decision, but it's up to the drivers whether their team boss has decided to let them all race each other, which didn't end very well between Alvaro Torres and Danny Vandenette, but they're all good drivers, which is why they're in the A Series. But let's hope they keep it clean and they keep all these positions, because it'll be a fantastic all the points for Netrex.
Yeah, a little look on the replay there what happened between Holzman and Thoman, and actually I think it was Holzman who pushed Thoman a little bit wide on the village, and then Thoman, as he tried to rejoin the track for the spoon, just made very unfortunate contact, and that's all I can say. I think that will definitely go to the stewards, and they can decide further on there. So we see Seaman now. Really? Is that Seaman? Yeah, that is Seaman, close behind Norbert Liedner, and further back Saverly and Jeroen Thoman. Jeroen Thoman now down the inside of Stoke corner. Had a look, but no, Saverly shuts the door and says to him, this place is mine. But further up front again, Seaman around the outside of Liedner, and he makes that move stick. Awesome move again by Seaman, just like we have seen with Alvaro Torres. Pretty much the same styled move. An awesome job by him around the outside there. And Thoman now again trying to pass Saverly. Thoman, I'm sure he wants to make up that position and gain a few extra points, but obviously he doesn't want to take himself out, or Saverly.
Yeah, it was another fantastic move from Johnny Simon. He's having an amazing race in this sprint race, and it's just showing how much quality he has got and how much star potential he has got, and he could be a really amazing driver, considering this is his debut season in FSR. Only good things can come for Johnny Simon.
Yeah, and talking about great races, how about Martin Hodes? 11 seconds up the road. Awesome job by Hodes. He's going to take this way probably, but further back, look at this. They are now really close once again with Saliento there in 5th position too. And Seaman now in 4th, trying to attack Torres, and further back again Saverly and Thoman. Thoman really looking feisty on the back of Saverly.
So whether Sadler can keep the Precision Motorsports car behind him, but now Jeroen Thoman's got a fantastic exit, but Martin Hodes is coming around the final couple of corners to take his first victory in FSR. What a fantastic race it's been for the Precision Motorsports driver.
Looking further down, Seaman, he had a huge oversteer moment on the exit of Stoke Corner, but he can keep it on the road, and he finishes in a solid 4th position with Danny Venanini in 2nd and Navarro Torres 3rd, and those guys round up the podium. And now we have a lot of people who just finished. The complete top 9 finished in a fraction of a second, really, because they were so close to each other. So that was really awesome. As we now wait for Islamajan to cross the line, which he does so now with Alex Diaz behind him in 11th place, and Godek then in 12th position, who couldn't manage his tires. Valeriano in 13th, and now we wait for Marconi, who still needs to finish. We have seen Marconi, remember, having that accident with Marco Conti. So Conti, I think the person who hasn't had a good weekend here and who lost a lot of points in the championship.
Yeah, indeed he has. It's been such an unfortunate weekend for the Twister driver, but he will come back strong like he did in Canada, and I'm sure he will do very well in the next Grand Prix. But we now have the summer break, which is 4 weeks, so we will not have a broadcast for the next 4 weeks until we come to round 7 of the FSR season. So what a fantastic job Martin Hanas has done for Precision Motorsports, and I'm sure he will be delighted with what he has achieved for Precision, as well with Daniel Anthony, another awesome job for Netrex, and Alvaro Torres coming in 3rd place. Johnny Simon, another great drive with some amazing passes for Bikecross Positive Sim Racing. Giancarlo Saliento in 5th, Norbert Leitner in 6th. Shuri Toman will be disappointed, but he comes in 7th place. Thomas Sully in 8th, Patrick Holzman in 9th place, Artem Azerbaijani in 10th place, Alex Diaz in 11th, Mark Godek in 12th, Gerdo Valeriano in 13th, Giuseppe Marconi in 14th, and DNF for Marco Conti. So we hope you've enjoyed this race. It's been a fantastic race for both the feature race and the sprint race, and we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. I've been James Sadler, and I've had my co-commentator Jeroen Kweekel, who's also done a fantastic job, and I hope we can commentate again for round 7. So we will see you in round 7 of the Formula Sim Racing 2014 season. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye everyone.